the best piece of advice that someone has ever given you?
Okay, I was 10, and it was in the UK. It's a guy who was a friend of my mother's. I have no idea what their relationship was. I was 10. But this guy looked about 12 foot tall, very furrowed brow, dark complexion, very deep voice, and everything about this man completely terrified me. So if he was there, I wasn't. You know, I'd be up in my room or something like that. And on one occasion, I went back, and he was there, and I disappeared. And in the morning, my mother called me and said, he's called Gregory. She said, Gregory is going to the post office this morning. Will you go with him and take this letter and post it? And I said, why don't you ask Gregory to post it, in my unbroken voice? And she said, go with Gregory. So he turned to me from his amazing height and said, why are you so selfish? Which is not a nice thing to say to a 10-year-old boy, really. And I was absolutely, the French word is bouleversé, turned upside down. I didn't know, I couldn't feel my feet anymore. I didn't know who I was. It was an absolutely crushing remark. And again, it seemed like an age, and I turned and I said, what do you mean? And he said, you're 10 years old, and you let your mother make your bed. And it was, for me, one of the most devastating moments. But I also realized, and this is the point, really, the answer to your question, I realized that people can see how you behave. I hadn't realized that behavior is that visible. And that has always stayed with me to the point at which I know that brand is actually behavior. And even appearance is a result of behavior. It's about behavior. And very few companies understand how behavior is seen. So in most companies that I work, I would say there's abuse of hierarchy taking place. Well, abuse of hierarchy is not a recognized term. This is people smiling at people just because they're senior. This is people being paid absurd amount of money, not for what they do, but for who they are. So I learned then, and I've never forgotten, that everything is seen. And if you write dismissively to people, they may never give you the feedback, but you've written dismissively. So that all our behavior, and again in the world of brands this is hugely important, people can feel it. It goes back to the Maya Angelou quote. They don't know what you've said, they don't remember what you did, but they remember how you feel. And so many people feel belittled by the way we are, by work, by offices and things like that. It's a huge potential for us to address this. And that's why I'm still excited by what I do.